Now we know something about the environmental consequences of greenhouse gases. Air pollution first received national attention as an environmental and human health hazard in 1948 in Donora, Pennsylvania. In this heavily industrialized area, stagnant air trapped smoke fumes from factories, home furnaces, and trains, causing respiratory problems in 6,000 residents and 20 deaths in a population of 14,000. While effects of air pollution in most American cities wasn't this dramatic, air quality was definitely deteriorating in the 1950s and 1960s. Local and state governments tried to regulate emissions, but their efforts were just not working, partly because bad air isn't contained within neat municipal boundaries. Observance of strict rules in one locale couldn't guarantee that bad air from a lax neighboring community wouldn't foul up their pristine air. It was up to the federal government, which passed the Clean Air Act in 1970, to set strict national air quality standards that cover the entire nation. The Clean Air Act created the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, which sets limits on how much of the pollutants are acceptable anywhere in the U.S., and it specifically limits emissions from chemical factories, oil refineries, utilities, steel mills, and automobiles, for example. Federal regulations are carried out by states and localities because they are the ones who know the geography, local industries, housing, and transportation patterns. States create state implementation plans that look for ideas and comments from residents and industries at public hearings. Amendments made to the Clean Air Act in 1990 updated and further strengthened standards, and air quality today is much better than it was 40 years ago when the Clean Air Act was first passed. For automobiles alone, regulations have made a big difference. All cars now come equipped with catalytic converters to reduce toxins in their exhaust systems. The ban on leaded gasoline has eliminated lead as a pollutant. The requirement for an annual state inspection ensures that cars will meet tailpipe emission standards. Carpooling and mass transit are widely recommended, and automakers are working on zero-emission vehicles, that is, electric cars. Plenty of hybrid cars are already on the roads. Strategies to reduce industrial pollution include installing scrubbers on smokestacks and using fuels that are less noxious than coal. Due to business and political pressure, the Clean Air Act amendments of 1990 had to create a realistic strategy for reducing overall pollution. The most realistic and practical strategy the EPA could come up with was pollution allowances that can be used, bought, or sold. This is how it works. An overall national or regional pollution limit is set. Each power plant or factory receives an emission amount that is its individual pollution allowance. It can use its allowance by polluting up to its quota, or it can clean up its pollution problem and sell its allowance to a factory that hasn't put emission controls. That's a short history of outdoor air quality, but we spend a great deal of time indoors. And because many pollutants are trapped inside buildings, indoor air quality is also an issue. The most common and dangerous indoor pollutant is tobacco smoke. Reducing the effects of secondhand smoke became a political cause of the 1980s. As a result, many states now ban smoking in public places. Other chemicals that destroy indoor air quality and threaten health are dry cleaning solvents, paints and paint thinners, hairspray, and air fresheners. Biological air pollutants such as mold and animal dander are problems for people with allergies. Among other biological air pollutants, bacteria have been vaporized into the air and resulted in serious diseases such as Legionnaire's disease and hantavirus. Although the benefits of clean air outside and inside seem clear and indisputable, it seems that with each new anti-pollution standard, there is opposition by industry and political conservatives who have their own agenda. In a world with competing priorities, public health has had to continue to fight for clean air.